well, good morning, April 24th, and it's starting to rain again. So, kind of exciting. I don't actually have any bags on the books to make today, so hopefully that will buy me some time to get the drill carts hooked up and things like that. First thing I did here, so all those molasses totes over there, that's all mill mix molasses. It's just kind of a general all-purpose molasses. You put it in everything, keeps the dust down, sweetens up the feed. All the animals can have it. They were all sitting right here, but we are getting another load of molasses probably on Wednesday. I want to get my tanks full because there's quite a few producers that are planning to use it kind of throughout the summer. Now, consumption does go way down in the summer, but when they get those lick tanks going, they want to keep them full. So there's nothing more frustrating than changing your program, setting up to do something different, and then not being able to get the product. So we'll make sure we get those full so nobody runs out. This one tote here had mill mix in it. I'm just draining it into this one that's on this little stand here because that's the one I fill my pails out of. And I like to keep this one full because it's nice and close to the mill, because those pails are like 50 pounds when they're full. This cart's in here. I got a battery for it yesterday. I took the kids and my dad and we went into a classic car show. So that was really fun. It was a good few hours. Just me and dad and the kids. Got a battery. Holy shit, our battery's expensive. This thing was like 230 bucks. I don't even really understand what this cart needs batteries for. I was looking at these motors, maybe somebody knows, on these New Holland tanks. When they have these, are they hydraulically driven? Because there's hydraulic lines going into this like motor, or are they electric? Because there's also wire on there. I'm not even sure. I assume they're probably hydraulically driven, and maybe the electric, I don't know. I don't know how they are. So anyways, that's a job for the mechanic to explain to me when he comes here. He's got to reprogram this cart to the monitor. Last year we had that problem where it would throw itself into calibration mode. Of course, we knew that after that this switch had failed. It was full of water. You can't see, but anyways, there's a switch here. You push this button, it starts your meters turning to calibrate the drill. It would bypass and either blow the fuse or start the calibration mode, which changes your whole seating rate as you're going down the field. So while he was trying to figure out what the problem was, he just started kind of uninstalling components until we got to that one. So there's an auxiliary switch in the cab that's for turning on and off your cart. He uninstalled that, and you need their computer and their program to reinstall it. So I called New Holland this morning. I think he might be out in the area today, which would be perfect because I don't know. Well, that generally doesn't save you a call-out charge, but it's efficient anyways. Burn a little less fuel, save the environment. So hopefully he can come out and do that. In order to do that, I have to get it hooked up to the tractor. So what am I going to do? I'll probably just pull that cart out, even though it's drizzling a little bit. I mean, this stuff's going to get rained on anyways. I try to do like what the big farmers do, where you keep stuff inside, but we can't. We don't have big enough shops and everything. So it'll come out. I'll get that hooked up. We got the Flexi-coil hooked up to Gus, the tractor here. My daughter named that tractor. That's Gus after the big fat mouse from Cinderella, because he looks big and fat. So we are planning to use our Flexi-coil drill. We were going to sell it last year, and I'm glad we didn't, because that Seedmaster drill with that New Holland tank, that was down for 3 days while they were trying to figure out that problem. So we started working away on this Flexi-coil drill. It needs very little, but one thing we noticed was it needed bushings in these caster wheels. Bushings in here, bushing on either side, and a spacer in the middle. So it needs those, because that's it's good that it slides, but it shouldn't rock like that. Also, there's bushings in this pin right here. There's bushings inside of here. So I ordered those. This one we did quite a bit sturdier. So that one we did. We got to do that one. We got to do this one, I believe. I got to check the book. I think I wrote the book. We got to do that one. I did that one 2 years ago, and I only bought 2 kits because I didn't realize they were the same kit for the front and the back. So that's got to be done. I also ordered this deflector. You always learn when you hook up drills to new tractors. You learn your turning radius right away. Some tires are wider, some tractors are longer in the hitch. And if you don't know that and no one's paying attention and you turn too sharp, you generally break some stuff. So that's broke. So that's ordered. All those bushings are ordered. The bushings for the pins are ordered. And then other than that, this drill's pretty straightforward and ready to go. We don't use it for seeding canola. We've taken the more precision approach for that. Wheat and our barley and stuff, we like to seed with our precision drill, and even our oats. But our peas, now peas are an amazing crop, and they're good for somebody who doesn't put all the science into farming, because they're pretty easy crop to plant. They're tricky to harvest, and they don't like being too wet or too dry, so they're not the easiest to grow. But when it comes to your planting equipment, if you can get the pea in the ground, and I've often joked that you could seed a pea in wet concrete and it would sprout and bust the concrete apart and come up. Like, that's how incredible they are. Now, once they're up, yeah, then you're susceptible to all sorts of mildews and funguses and molds. You're susceptible to heat. You're susceptible to water, pretty much everything. But we still like growing them. They're very good for our land. And the one thing that we've done to basically eliminate the harvest issue is seed them with canola. So that's why we use this drill. The canola is broadcast on through this attachment. The peas are seeded through the paired row openers, and then the fertilizer through the front. That way we can get our depth for our peas. We can get them nice and deep, and the canola is just covered by the turbulence, I guess, of the drill coming behind it. And as long as everything germinates and starts to grow, then it's quite an advantageous thing when it comes to harvest time, because a lot of your harvest issues are significantly reduced. Things like the peas lodging, falling over, getting earth tag and stuff, getting too much dirt. If they do fall over and you go to straight cut them, your peas can get very dusty, very dirty, put rocks and things to your combines. So if they're with the canola and the canola's grown and the peas have grown, they wrap around the canola and then they stay up tall. When you swath them, it makes a really fluffy swath because of the canola's in there. It doesn't get real dense like a pea swath can. So there's air can go through there, it dries down quick, and then you go along with your pickup header and your combine. You can go as quick as your combine will allow, and you don't have things like earth tag and a lot of dirt and all that other stuff. So we have been beat probably as many times as we've won with it, but when you do get a nice crop and you get that premium for those green peas and stuff like that, it's to us it's a win. So we continue to do that, a few acres of it every year, and we always will. The peas are good for the ground. We don't use a tremendous amount of fertilizer because you don't really have to fertilize your peas at all. There's a bit more to it, but that's for a different thing. Oh, this tractor here, I do got to pull the GPS out of the combine and put it in this cab. I should do that. And then this drill doesn't need, I don't think it needs anything. It's not very old. It's like a 2018, and it came from a farm that farmed about, I think, right around 2,000 acres a year, and it came to our farm, and we farm about, whatever, 2,500 acres a year. So it doesn't have many acres on it, and it's not, as you can see, it's nowhere near as complex as that Flexi-coil. It's pretty much just a toolbar with a few hoses and lots of space. That Flexi-coil is a hodgepodge of everything. And this is I guess a precision drill, they call them. Each shank has a hydraulic ram to control downforce. You adjust depth by, you got to loosen this bolt right here, which is one frustrating thing about it. This drill, you have to do every shank individually. You loosen the bolt and then you go to one of these ticks. I think each one is 1/4 of an inch. So there's 50 shanks, right? 50-foot drill, 12-inch spacing. You got to crawl under there. Not too bad if you're on the grass or maybe out in the dirt in the field, but if you're in the yard on the gravel, it's pretty hard on the knees. Whereas the Flexi-coil, it has one bolt that you turn down and the whole drill adjusts as one, but that's why it's not a precision drill, I guess. So anyways, I just got off the phone with the New Holland guy, and he thought one of the techs, in fact, I was hoping to get the same tech out here that deleted the components out of the system, because he would remember, right? Or he would know what he did. So if we can get him back, maybe they can hook it up real quick. So maybe that's what I'll do here. Go pull that card out, get it hooked up in case he shows up. Oh, buddy's off to get eggs. I wrecked my booster cables yesterday. We were just talking about that over lunch. Dad got here. He was telling me about his 3 in the morning encounter with the neighborly thieves. I guess not his neighbors, just the thieves, in his truck at 3 in the morning. So we all had a pretty good laugh about that. And now he's gonna help me hook this cart up. So in here now, and just trying to get everything figured out again. Of course, when you only do this once a year, you don't know the procedure for everything. There's a foot switch which controls my opener. So when I click the switch, they're supposed to go down like that. And when I click the switch again, they're supposed to go up. I finally got that figured out. And then back to this, if you go into this screen, for my tank run, this button right here is supposed to turn the tank on and off. Last year, when we had that power issue and we didn't know what it was, he changed it so you have to do it on the screen right here. Now that's not a big deal if if that's the only way. So this doesn't work at all, and this is nice to have, this auxiliary switch. And I was looking, when I go into my, where is it here? I'm not very good with all this stuff. You pretty much need to be the tech to do it. Somewhere in here, whoops. Oh, we got things happening. Get out of there. Get back in there. Maybe user? No. Options? No. Miscellaneous? Tank? Hold on, let me find it here. Bear with me. Okay, so quickly here. So it was in this diagnostics, down here at auxiliary. He's got it set to internal mode. So all of these switches, which are down here, you can't toggle them. So, right, they don't respond. And I think that's part of the steps they take to diagnose problems. But anyways, hopefully he can come out and he can turn this. I wish I could just click it and set it to external mode, but you can't. You need their machinery to do that. Oh, it's shaping up to be a beautiful evening. I'm calling it a success. We got this hydraulic motor on, and before I ruin my evening, I'm not going to test it tonight, because in case it just leaks right away, then I can be mad tomorrow. We also got there's a stupid inline filter here. I don't really know the story behind it, but they make a pretty big deal of it. It's that canister that you can see up there. We changed that. I think we have everything hooked up. I was getting all the everything registered on the monitor. I had my drill going up and down, in and out, backwards and forwards, all sorts of things. We still got to get our hoses hooked up. I sprayed these all with silicone spray, of course, before we put it away last year. Sprayed rust check into all those areas. So we got to bring those air lines down yet. The battery, I just stuck it in there. I didn't hook it up yet. Got to hook that up. And then tomorrow we'll give her a test run. We'll get the fan going. We'll get that auger going. Dad's going to change this bearing down here. Right here. Change that tomorrow. And then put our spout back on. put our rollers in, and then it'll actually be ready to fill with seed, whatever we decide to do. Most likely we'll fill it with wheat, and maybe go yet and get some fertilizer. We don't have any cereal blend fertilizer here. We just have the canola blend, so see what tomorrow brings. We didn't do any more work really on the Flexi-coil because all the parts won't be until Wednesday morning. So I guess Wednesday, some point we'll run into town, get the parts for that, and keep plugging away at it. I can go down probably tomorrow yet and get the cart for that other drill. I didn't get down there yet today. There was bags to load. I didn't make any bags today, but there was lots of bags to load, molasses to load, and everybody that came for something today stayed for like a minimum hour-long chat, so that ate into the day a little bit. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you all on the next one.